Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone is well. Today's learning is dedicated on this beautiful Friday morning to the memory of Leah Bas Feivel, together with Sivia Bas Mordechai, Avram ben David Slavin, Shlomo ben Yisrael Morris, Eliezer ben Shmuel Teret, Eliezer Shalom ben Avram Shmuel Beret, Tzipora Fegele bas Reuven Baruch, Shalom ben Eli Ali, Bena bas Feivel, from Shoshana bas Yaakov Shmuel, as well as for the Yort sites that we have Noemi bas Moshe, Norma bas Yehuda Leib, from a bas Yosef Elton, from a bas Gedalia, Alo bas Yitzchak, Sora bas Gedalia. I think that's it. We wish all their respective families long life and only simchas. So we're moving on a bit today, and we come to another fascinating Mishnah, and it's going to surprise you, the outcome. Arba midos ba'adam. There are four character types among people. Sheli, sheli, veshelcha, shelach. What's mine is mine, and what's yours is yours. What's mine is mine, what's yours is yours. Now, what type of character would you expect that to be? Is that something praiseworthy? Lucia, Powell, Jonathan, Richard? Is that something good or bad? Mine is mine, yours is yours. I'll keep to myself and you keep to yourself. Is that a good Jewish character or character trait or not? So we'll see in a minute. Zu mida beinonis. This is considered the character trait of an average bloke, an average person. But there are some that say that this is midas Sodom. This is the characteristic of Sodom. Sodom, we all recall, Sodom and Amorah was where there was institutionalized wickedness, so much so that God had to destroy and wipe out the place, right? In Lot, Abraham's nephew, found his way to this place. And in fact, when they discovered that he had guests that were resting in his house, that he was entertaining, they came and they enclosed, right? They sieged the house, and they said they're not going to leave until the guests were given over to them to do with what they wanted, which was to act in an immoral fashion. So guests were prohibited. They acted in an immoral, decadent fashion. But why would this be considered why would this, mine is mine and yours is yours? I keep to myself, you keep to yourself. Isn't that very much a Western society philosophy that we've been brought up with, right? So we'll come afterwards we'll come back to this soon. Sheli, the next one, Sheli, Shelach. Veshelcha Sheli. What's mine is yours, and what's yours is mine. That is the characteristic. Is that a good one or bad one? What do you think, Powell? What's mine is yours. What's yours is mine. So that's the midah that's a character trait of an haaretz, of somebody that is an ignoramus. Why? Because what's mine is yours, and what's yours is mine, right? There is a basic tenet in Judaism, is that we've said this before. We said it earlier. I'll quote a Mishnah to you, and then it should be obvious. I'll remind you of what we all learned earlier. In chapter 1, we said, if I am not for myself, who am I? And if I am only for myself, what am I? So what that means is that there has to be an I. I have to look after myself. There has to be self-care, right? Bishvili nivra olam. The world was created for me. I have to be self-preservation. I have to think about what I need first. Once I have taken care of myself, then when, as we said, the cup is overflowing, then I can take care of other people as well. Okay? So therefore, when I come along and I say, what's mine is yours, I am just relinquishing. I'm just giving up on myself. I'm saying, I hand it all over to you. That's not a Jewish concept. To become a doormat, to become walked over, is something which is absolutely abhorrent. It's prohibited, and it's not a Jewish idea at all. And sadly, has become more apparent in the coronavirus lockdown. Many people have felt that. They felt that they have been walked over, or it has now come to the fore. It has become apparent that they're being treated like being walked all over, not being abused, being verbally abused, and therefore that is not a Jewish concept at all. The next idea is sheli shelach. What's mine is yours, and what's yours is yours. Right? This is a chosed. This is the virtue, the paragon that we are all meant to aim for. Right? What's mine is yours, and what's yours is yours. We mention many times, we come into this world, friends, with clenched fists. A baby comes. Look at the baby's hands. Even at 2 years old, my little daughter, wherever she goes, she's grabbing everything, touching everything, wanting to have everything, even things that she doesn't understand. She has no concept of I don't know, a watch, right? She has a concept of a phone, but she doesn't have a concept of what a watch is. She doesn't have a concept of I don't know, creams, anything that she can touch, she wants to touch. Because when we come into this world, naturally we're made as takers. When the person leaves this world, the Chevra Kedisha makes sure that a person's hands are open, because not just because we take nothing with us, because it symbolizes who we are, that we become net givers rather than takers. That's why this is the ideal midah. This is the characteristic that we all should have, that what's mine is yours. I'm not interested. It's not about me. We know with our kids, they never are able, we are never as children able to repay the debt that we owe to our parents, right? And therefore, we become as parents, all we want is to give. We don't want back. It's nice occasionally if a child says thank you. Yes, a bit of appreciation once in a while, or shut the cupboards or shut the fridge. Yes, it would be appreciated. But that's not why we do it. We don't do it for the thanks. And therefore, this is the characteristic of us, the Jewish people. Sheli, shelach. What's mine is yours. What's yours is yours. When I do something for you, it's not reciprocity. We're not looking to get anything back or out of it, right? Too often we find ourselves struggling and suffering and being frustrated because, well, I did all this for you and you're not doing back. I gave you a nice present. We invited them. They did not invite us back. We invited them to the simcha. They didn't invite us back. And so on and so forth. It's not tit for tat. Midah keneged midah. Reciprocity. That's not the way it works in life. If it does, you are going to lead a life of being frustrated and angry at the world. The midah is, I'm a giver. I don't want anything. We are meant to despise gifts. We're not meant to want gifts, wait for gifts. The next and final characteristic is sheli, sheli, v'sheli, v'sheli, sorry, shelcha, sheli, v'sheli, sheli. Don't have my reading glasses. What's yours is mine, and what's mine is mine. That is the characteristic of a Rasha, of a wicked person. A person who thinks that this world is all about getting what you can get out of it. I saw a t-shirt once which said, it was an American t-shirt, and it said, the winner of this world is the one who ends up with the most toys. There are some that go through life. It's about acquiring, acquisitions, appropriating as much as one possibly can, right? And that's the way life is, and therefore that's the characteristic of a wicked person. Conversely, it's about us being net givers. But I'm going to say it again, and I hope it's not wasted on you and hearing it again. I apologize if it's repetition. Imagine you have your Kiddush cup. Where's my Kiddush cup? Well, on a morning, okay, this coffee cup is this is what keeps me going, the coffee cup, okay? So if you have your coffee, your Kiddush cup, right, you have to make sure that your cup is filled to the top. This is your bank of emotions, your energies, right? These are your kochas, all the abilities This is your cup of what you have inside you. This is what you are capable of in life. And we have to make sure that that cup is constantly replenished and it's overflowing. And whatever is overflowing, it's not just a Jewish concept. We mentioned before, John Gottman, great psychologist, he also says the same idea about the emotional bank. So the idea is starts off, we have to fill ourselves. We have to make sure that there's self-care. But after that, the only reason why we want self-care is so that we can become givers, so we can invest, so we can help people, so we can build people, so we can make this world a better place. Okay? They say that the difference between heaven and hell is that a person goes to the room of heaven and he looks and everyone has long forks attached to their arms, and each of them are smiling as they are feeding each other with these long forks. He goes to hell and he sees the exact same thing, long forks attached to their arms, and he sees everyone with sour faces. What's the difference? In the world of heaven, everyone is a giver. So everyone wants to give and feed and help the other person. Therefore, everyone gets to enjoy the next world. In the world of hell, it was all about taking. And therefore, if I've got a long fork, I can't feed myself. It's about, in the next world, about giving to other people. I'm not prepared to do that because I'm in hell. Therefore, I miss out. The more we give, the more, in fact, we get. The longest palindrome in Hebrew is the word v'nasnu, and they gave, which can be read backwards and forwards. What you give is what you get. And we all know this, that the more that we give, the more that we invest in our friends, in our family, and beyond, the more, in fact, that we gain. Rabbi Shlomo Levin said a beautiful idea in a rabbinical conference this week. He said, when it comes to burnout, we don't burn out from stress per se. He was quoting a psychologist, I believe. He says, the stress depends what it is. Is it negative stress or positive stress? Positive stress is something which doesn't make us burn out. In fact, it invigorates us. The idea is that with positive stress, that I am in a project, I'm working towards something, I'm helping other people, right? I'm feeling productive, I'm feeling fulfilled. That is something which that stress doesn't burn me out. That doesn't cause any negative impact. In quite the opposite. I feel refreshed, I feel invigorated, I feel fulfilled. But negative stress is where I feel that everything is unraveling. I feel frustrated. I feel that I'm not getting anywhere. I feel that I'm not giving, I'm not productive. So the key message in this Mishnah is that it's about us making sure that we give to ourselves. V'ahavta l'recha kamocha. You have to love your neighbor as yourself. Another way of saying it is, first I love myself. I have to start loving myself. And once I love myself, then I can love the world at large. Right? You know, they say about the man, and with this we'll conclude. He says, I wanted to change the world. Came back a month later to the Rebbe. He says, I didn't manage to change the world. So he says, try and change your town. Comes back a month later. I didn't manage to change my town. Says, well, try and change your family. Didn't manage to change the family. Comes back. Says, well, maybe try and change yourself. Says the Rebbe, start by changing yourself. Then it will lead to you changing your family. Then it will lead to you changing your town. Then it will lead to you gradually changing the world. Wishing everyone a Shabbat Shalom. So much more to say, but we've got a Shabbat in shul this week in some shape or form, and therefore we have to prepare to get ready. Okay, very exciting. Okay, so look out for the blog later. Okay, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He causes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Even when I walk in the valley of darkness, I will fear no evil. Why? Because you are with me, God. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You set a table before me in the presence of my adversaries. You anointed my head with oil. My cup overflows. May only goodness and kindness pursue me all the days of my life. Now I will dwell in the house of the Lord for the length of days. Memorial prayer. El Malei Rachamim Sheikhin Bamim Amasim Nechanechana. Our confession, Hachmina Mamalos Kedoshim Returning Kazariki Masim Es Nishmois. Leah Pas Five, Sivi Pas Mordechai, Abram Ben David Slavin, Shalom Ben Shlomois, Eliezer ben Shmuel Teret, Eliezer Shalom ben Avon Shmuel Beres, for Fegel bas Reuven Baruch, Shalom ben Eli, Ben Abbas Feivel, from Moshe Shana bas Yaakov Shmuel. So Abbas Gedalia, Allah ben Yitzchak, from Abbas Gedalia, from Abbas Yosef Elton, Noemi bas Moshe, Noma bas Yehuda Leib, Shalchu Leonamam Began Aiden Te Menuchasam, Lachem Balarachamim, Yasi Rein Besaita Kana Pavlionamim, Yitzobas Reisen Shmasam, Adonai Nachlasam, Yanuch Bishlomish Kavam, Venaimar, Amen. Refuah Shlema. For all those that are unwell, so sadly, I know families now that in Northwest London are forced to quarantine. Letters have gone out to the Northwest London community. Doctors are pleading. Anyone and everyone should not be complacent and must make sure that we follow the government guidelines. Shanu Mispalim Baba Ram Bisosach Bisosach Baruch Yimali Racham Aleim Racham Alfasam Vishlach Lem Fushim and Shmaim Lacholvim Basashach Israel Rufus and Evishfus Akov Hashabaz Magariban Amar Amen. It's incredible, lovely to see 4 or 5 months on, over 20 people joining us this morning, as every morning, Mishnah in the morning. It's the way to start the day. Take care, Shabbat Shalom, keep well, and I'll see you later on the blog and on my article, Times of Israel, which we'll send out. Take care.